Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna be ranking every single card in Block Tales. Aren't you guys excited? I'm not, this is gonna be a while. Alright, anyways, let's get started. Alright, so first of all, we start off with our basics. Ball. Simple ball card. Alright, we're not placing it in this tier. It is simple, it's what you start off with, it's a solid S tier. In fact, it was my main throughout most of Block Tales until I got to until we got to Demo 5 where the card where instead I became a slingshot main. Next up we have Line Bounce, alright? Line Bounce is a simple, useful, and incredible card, especially paired up with Cannonball, which we will be ranking soon. So, it gets it gets an A tier. I like these three right here. Anyways, it is an incredibly useful card. That's only if you have Cannonball. Next up, we have Fireball. Fireball is a nice, easy to use card. It applies fire, and it's incredibly useful against enemies with, well, no fire. Like, you can attack them with fire. Fire. This especially is great with poison combos because, in fact, you can do a poison card and add on to this ball card, but it gets an A tier here for being able to be countered by fire enemies. Or, I mean, really, you should just get rid of this card entirely when you're in the desert area. But this gets an AS tier for being solid enough. This Ice Ball, or whatever you call it, Frozen Ball, something. It's a genuinely good card. It's incredibly well used, and you can use it for quite a lot of things, especially with freezing enemies. It gets an S tier for being able to freeze enemies, because, well, that is incredibly overpowered. Freezing enemies just deals more damage and freezes the enemies, causing them to be unable to move for a turn. Next up, we have Minimize. Minimize is a card I haven't used much, but it is a card that is incredibly useful due to the fact that it can minimize enemies and making it incredibly useful for being able to, well, make enemies small and being able to make enemies deal less damage. This ball is this item card thingamabobber is incredibly useful for Demo 5 if you're up against Reginald, because Reginald has a quick axe and most of his moves does 12 damage, and having a minimize basically halves that, I think. Next up we have Comatose, and Comatose basically is a ball attack that lets them sleep. This is a great move, except for the sleepness thing, because if you get hit while sleeping, you wake up almost instantly, or vice versa. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. Sorry guys, I accidentally exited out of stuff. Because I'm dumb. This card gets an A tier for being, well, pretty much balanced. It should be B tier for balanced, because it's a balanced card. If you hit the enemy who is sleeping, they wake up. It's simple, but it's balanced. Next up, we have Cannonball. Cannonball, automatic S tier. Allows you to, first of all, unable for your ball to be broken or popped by either the spiky effect or what is it called? Or the literal spike underneath the enemy's little health bar. It's a solid S tier already because it allows us to, get the job done and actually defeat enemies quite fast. Next up, we have the sword. Automatic S tier. It's basically the first sword you ever actually get into the game. While not strong, it becomes stronger in the late game, which it gets an S tier. Next up, we have sword power up, and also another S tier. This honestly helped me throughout the first game. Dazed is this Dazed? I think it might be Dazed or Thrown. That's Thrown. All right, that little sword that's basically looking like it's flying. Anyways, this is a Dazed. It allows to daze the enemies, and in which when you daze the enemies, it dazes them, and it gives them a chance to be unable to move. While they can still move, it is still an A tier for being able to pierce the people behind them. Actually, in fact, I'll move it into S tier just for that reason. Anyways, now we have Pierce Defense Sword, which allows us to pierce defense, and I'm pretty sure give them the enemy defense down. This is incredible sword. This is incredible sword attack for sword builds, and remember, this is my opinions and on also their builds. This is your opinions if you have a build preference. Anyways, this as a S tier for the reason of being able to pierce defense and being able to actually give them defense down, which is incredibly useful for enemies who you can struggle against in the late game, who have higher defense. Ugh, that was disgusting. I burped. Ugh. Oh, that was disgusting. Oh my goodness. Anyways, next we have Infect, and this is a solid A. It is balanced, it is easy to hit, but the poison, yeah, it goes. In fact, I feel like I should move Ball down for this reason. The poison and the fire effects aren't as useful as you'd hope they would be, but they are incredible enough. They are incredible enough for the being able to poison them and fire burn them, which allows for extra damage, and which is incredibly useful. Next up, we have Sword Toss. This allows us to throw swords at flying enemies, and this automatically gets it's a S tier for being able to hit flying enemies and enemies anywhere instead of just the first enemy in the field. Next up, we have Baller card. This card gives Baller a plus defense, but in return, not plus defense. What am I talking about? Gives the ball attack an extra attack point, in which it allows you to deal more damage. But the thing is, with this comes a whatever it's called, something. I don't know. I'm not intelligent today. Anyways, this Baller card allows us to get more damage, except it gets rid of our sword, and in which I'm in between. I feel like it's an S tier, but it's balanced. It's B for balanced. It's balanced incredibly, and yeah. Anyways, we have the Knight card. The Knight card is going going here as well. It does the same thing basically as Baller, except vice versa. The sword gets a 1+ attack point, while the ball gets removed, and there's not much more for explanation. Can we just not? Alright. Anyways, next we have Rocket. Yay. Rocket costs 300 ticks, and and I'm pretty sure in the recent update, If you miss, it gives you straight up, depending on if you're using anti-up or not, either Butterfingers or Exhaustion. If you use it without uh, anti-up, then you're getting pretty much a solid, well attack that you don't have to rely on. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, this is a solid. It's a mix because if you choose the whatever, because if you miss, you get punished now, and that makes it balanced in general. Well, which also, yeah, I forgot. I'm having a hard time today, guys. Which makes it balanced because, well, before you just blew up and just didn't have anything happen to you. Now, if something happens to you, it sucks. I'm tired, man, for no reason. I'm assuming this is Hitmarker. Hitmarker, I have not used it ever, so it's going in the don't know, haven't used section. Bombardment is a solid one. It damages every enemy, which gives an S tier for being able to damage quite literally every enemy on the field just for like simpleness, I guess. And piercing a little bit of defense because, well, it's a rocket launcher. What do you expect? It's pretty cool. And then we have the Rocketeer. I forgot what this is. I'm pretty sure it's Rocket Man. And this is basically like Baller and Knight. It just basically gives a hit points. I mean, now instead for these kind of cars, for Slingshot and Rocket, instead of anything else, it actually pierces defense. So it allows you to pierce defense, which is incredibly nice. It's for enemies with high defense. And that's insanely overpowered for Slingshot, but we'll get that over with later. Anyways, it's balanced enough. Like I'd say it's good B for balanced. Oh goodness, Slingshot. Slingshot is not a bad choice once you're in the actual later game. Again, once you're in the beginning, you need a few damaging items to even, well, have that max pellet cap of 8. And while it's incredibly good, I think it deserves a place in A. While not being useful in the beginning, it gets incredibly useful in the later game. With the reason why I'm a Slingshot main. Next up, we have this thing right here, Power Shot. Power Shot allows you to pierce defense of enemies, which is the reason why you're able to use Power Shot, because it allows you a pellet that is basically the combined damage of everything you have. In the recent update, they've actually made this to where there isn't a cap of 8 anymore, and instead it just adds up all the damage that you have, and once you actually fire that at the enemy, it adds that all up and deals the damage, adding up from 8 and whatever you have. So let's say you had 3 of the, let's see here, 3 of the, oh goodness, 3 of the, 3 of the charge up cards, and that gives you 6 plus damage. Adding on to that makes you have a, hold on, let's make sure my math is correct. Yep, 14. Overpowered. It's incredible. It's an S tier. And I found it kind of easy to actually aim it for me. I don't know about any of you guys. Even though it did get a change, like whatever the thing is, the TNT card, because, well, instead of just spamming it, now you kind of just gotta click on the little line things. Next up, we have Firecrackers recently introduced into Demo 5. Demo 5, Firecrackers allows you to hit many adjacent enemies, as it says in the card name. And adjacent means enemies next to it. So this only works if this works if the enemy you are going against does not have any defense, no matter if you even have this card right here, the Slinger card. Anyways, you gotta go for an enemy with no defense. For example, you can go for I'm thinking here. Cruel King. You can go for Cruel King, and if his adjacent friend, I think, if his adjacent friend is a summon, is the archer guy, then I'm pretty sure you can hit him and Cruel King. But if the enemy has defense, let's take in Ancients, when it summons its little minions to get infinite defense, you can't really hit the adjacent enemies afterwards because it has infinite defense, allowing you to be unable to actually hit anything else. So this gets a B for balanced. Next up, we have the Slinger card. Incredibly overpowered. Why do I say this? Well, because you can get 2, which pierces 2 defense. You can get 2 of these. If you get 1 of these, then it pierces 1 defense while getting rid of your ball. But if you get 2 of these, which you can stack, by the way, and there's 2 of these as well, but I haven't managed to find them. And it feels a little bit more balanced. Anyways, but Slingshot, being able to pierce 2 defense, that's incredibly overpowered. You're able to attack the Ancients. Let's see here. The Ancients, Hatred, literally, I'm pretty sure Reginald, the dragon, in Demo 5, and the end of it, like, you can pierce, like, it's incredible. It's insanely overpowered. And it gets an S tier for that reason. And it's also the reason why I'm a Slingshot main. They might have to nerf this card. Next up, we have Anti-Up. I absolutely hate and love this card. This, though, it really depends on what I'm using. If I'm using Ball, I'm able to use it a little bit easier. If I'm using Rocket, meh. But if I'm comboing it with anything else, it's a no. It's a C. I don't like it too much. Obviously, this is my opinion, though, and it's incredibly good for sword mains. Next up, we have, I forgot what this card's name is, but it's basically like the other card, but it's a fist, boxing glove, and in which it gives you more damage if you are at mortal HP, or in other words, like 1 HP. 1 HP, where the music is incredibly distorted. This gets a tier. It's not overpowered. It's just a good card. You can't really stack it with Slingshot, but you can stack it with Ball, Rocket, and Sword. Oh my goodness. These 8 cards here, I don't know what to do with them, so we're just gonna put them into basically, I don't want to rank this, or in fact, because they're funny, they deserve S tier, because they're just that funny. You can stack these, by the way, and just get the ultimate, like, cursed cursed combo of sounds whenever you attack. What these sound SFX cards do is that they just add sounds to your attacks. It's awesome. Some and funny. As well. They all get an S tier for being awesome sauce. Sauce. Do I need to explain myself? Alright, now we're up to the ability things is that you can use. Shrinking is a A tier card. Literally useless in battle. You can't use it in battle unless you've actually shrinked yourself. And the only time it's ever really used in shrinking battle is if you are in the fire ant den, and that's about it. So, in fact, I don't even I think it's useless. Cut it in with scissors. The only thing that it's really good for, and that's why I'm going to be putting it in D, is for the secrets in in the first chapter, and just other secrets in other chapters. Dynamite card. This card was nerfed in the Demo 5 update, in which it only deals 3 damage now, including it having the same things as Slingshot, with being unable to spam tap it. Instead, you have to tap it with the little green boxes. And it gets a C tier for not being worthless, but also being not good. Rocket Boots. These get a nice S tier. These are incredibly useful throughout the entire game, and they're used frequently. Rocket Boots are incredibly useful also because they can give down defense and as well give the enemy fire. So it gets an S tier for this. Ghost Potion. Ghost Potion is used frequently throughout some chapters. Some chapters you get this during Demo 3, where it's used the most often. And while it's not the most useful in battle, now that with Demo 5 you can just use shield attacks, it is still useful and it gets an A tier. And this is because the shields combat it, but it as well allows you to shield up if you don't have any shields with you, Ghost Potion up if you don't have any shields with you. Next up, we have Shovel. The shovel is used frequently throughout Demo. It's used a bit through Demo 4, and then used once through Demo 5. But I used it frequently for Demo 5, mostly because I was a Slingshot main, and because the Red Cliff enemies could counter ball attacks, and Slingshot was counted as a ball attack. So this was incredibly useful for me. It as well also gives enemies confusion and that's incredibly useful because confusion makes enemies attack themselves or other their enemies on their side. And while it's not being 100% chance, it is kind of funny to just see them die to themselves. Or in other words, saying something that I cannot say. Anyways, it's a solid card. Confusion has the same effects on you anyways. Oh well. Is that half damage next? Alright, anyways. Next up we have Paintball. This card is incredibly useful because, paintball allows you to do more damage depending on if you hit the enemy or not. And while it does give 1+ damage, this doesn't pierce defense as well as I'd like it to. I think it pierces 1 defense, and that's about it. So it gets 1. So it gets basically just 1. So it gets what am I saying? So it gets A tier. Next up, I'm assuming we have Have Shield. This card allows you to basically choose an ally you have on your team and give them this card. This card, which gives them halved the damage, which is incredibly useful for some enemies with big attacks. Being able to, let's say, I think it can counter hatred. Haven't really used it too much before, but I think it can counter hatred and his 60 damage move, which is incredibly useful because most of the time I had above 45 HP through most of the chapters. Alright, next up we have the pass card. Wrong card. The pass card. This card is, or is this... Hold on. Is that... I don't know if it's that. It might be, though. If this is the defense, as in return as being a pass card, basically a defense, right? This defense card, this is either half damage, or whatever, but this card gets a... If this is the defense card, it allows me to get +2, stuff? I forgot what it was called. Energy or something. So it gets a C tier. Next up, this is basically the same thing, except you don't defend and have your damage. The difference between these two is I'm pretty sure this pass card is when you're on your second turn, but the defense card is when you're on your first turn. Next up, we have the runaway card. It is almost completely useless other than for just running away from battle. This is useful for basically wanting to get away from enemies, and while there's literally no balancing with this other than sometimes when you run you get thrown back into battle again. This usually only happens once, so basically it's a C. Next up we have Charge Up. Charge Up allows us to deal more damage, and it gets a B for balanced. It costs a little bit. It costs at least 3 SP with one of them, but with 2 of them or more, I don't know, because I don't have the third one because it got taken away. Anyways, the second one costs 5 BP builder points and allows you to... What am I talking about, dude? I give up. Anyways, back to the conversation. This card allows us to deal more damage, and I'm putting in B for balanced. Next up, we have Defender. I forgot what this is called. Something defense. Which when you block, it in fact halves the damage, or at least I think halves the damage that you take from blocking. If you have 3 of these stacked or more, probably 4 of these stacked. I'm pretty sure there's 5 of these, by the way. If you have 5 of these and use all of them, you pretty much are invincible. Quite literally invincible. So, alright, this is charge defense, right? No. What? I don't know about this card. Don't think I used it before. Defense Plus is a costly BP card, but it's a B for balancing, because in return of that costly BP, you get at least, I'll say, 1. What am I talking about, dude? I use this card so many times. All my builds, I use this card, bro. I'm going insane. This card allows you to have +1 defense. In return, you have to spend 4 BP. And I'm pretty sure it's only retrievable once you actually make it to past floor 40 and make it to floor 50, where you have to defeat, where once you actually make it make it past some of the enemies in floor 40, you have to defeat let me get this straight for you: Fear, right hand; the ancient guardian, left hand. That was not fun. Next up we have, and then after that you have to defeat Megaphone Man, 3 Captain Trotters. I'm not having fun. And I managed to beat that solo, by the way. You couldn't even beat it with many players. Next up we have Defender card. This card it decreases your attack decreases an attack point by 1. Decrease 1 attack point while giving you shield. This is balanced because in return you are getting shield but getting rid of your attack stat. I'm stressing over nothing. This might have to be a part 3. A part 2. Next up we have Cure card. Cure card allows us to, cure us 5 HP or more depending on how many we have equipped. And this card is balanced, because it cures while costing you some SP, and that is kind of useful. I think I went a little early with that. Next up we have Aggressor card, but you can earn this off of Finn McCool. After you defeat Finn McCool, you get this card, and this card allows you to deal +1 damage while making your health deplete instantly instead of just rolling. This makes it so if you actually get hit, you can't save yourself with the rolling HP. Next up we have Happy HP. Happy HP increases your HP. Is basically increased you get 1 + 1 HP every 2 turns. This card costs 1 BP and is actually incredibly useful for many, so I'm putting this into S tier. First S tier we had in a while. Next up we have HP Plus. While it's getting a D tier, while it was useful in the beginning, not in the end game. Next up we have this card, the Ship in a Bottle card. This allows you to sail across many areas, and this gets in A tier. You can't use it in battle, but it's used for many places, and without it, you can't get across these certain areas, so it gets an A tier for just being able to help us. Next up we have Revive card. This has been recently updated in Demo 5 to where it decreases your attack stat by 1, which I kinda didn't like a lot at all. It went from I don't know, because it was balanced and now it's balanced again. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to put it in B for balanced, but that's kind of the way. Next up we have Lifesteal. Never use this card. Next up we have HP Finder. This increases your HP after defeating an enemy in battle. that gets an increase. Next up we have Happy SP, which is basically the same thing as Happy HP, so we put it in S tier. Next up we have this, which is basically the same thing as HP Plus, except with SP. Next up we have this card, never used it. Next up we have this card, barely never used it. But it is incredibly useful from what I've seen from it, so it gets S tier because it decreases everything by 1. I never used it. Never used it. Not that one. Well, never used it. Never used it. This one gets S tier for the same reasons. Focus. Focus is incredible because this allows you to actually get your sword energy faster and allows you to deal either or to deal damage with the Venom Shank, Firebrand, or the Wind Force, or you can get power-ups with or healing and more SP with the Ice Dagger, or give yourself the dodgy effect with the Ghost Walker, which I think is incredibly useful. This is getting an S tier because it just gives you faster sword energy faster. Pack Tactics, never used it, but it sounds useful enough for me to put it in C tier because, well, it gets rid of 10 HP. Youch. Never used it. Sounds useful in teams, so it gets a B for balanced. Next up we have Item Plus, and I'm pretty sure this just increases your items by 30%, so this gets an actual S tier. Next up we have the Prayer card. This card is funny, and I give it the benefit of the doubt. And it actually gets B for balanced, because it's balanced because when you pray to basically whatever Blocktail's gods there is, you either are gonna get something useful to yourself, something useful for you and your enemy, something bad for yourself, or something bad for you and the enemy. It's basically the wild card. This next card is basically refund? No, it's not refund. This card allows you to get more money after winning a battle, and this is a good way to grind ticks and blocktails. It's either that, or once you actually reach Demo 5, you should probably have enough items to be able to sell that stuff. We'll sell some of your useless items and get 999. Oh goodness. Or get 999 ticks in return. Anyways, this is a good card if you don't want to sell your items. Next up we have Anchor. You've never used it, but because of the fact that it, when you get down, it in return gives everybody in return HP, it gets balanced, getting the balanced. Bodyguard, personally never used it, but seems so good enough. What are you doing in here? But seems so good enough that it gets to be put in balanced because it deals both damage to you and because it basically puts damage between you and the person that's actually getting hit, because this card distributes the damage between you and the person that you affected it with. Next up we have Item Refund. Item Refund is incredibly an S tier. Automatic, because it allows you to get refunded in ticks whenever you use an item, which is useful. So we have the Thorns. This makes it to where you have one less attack, so it's balanced, kind of. Maybe it's balanced. So we have Luck. This Lucky card allows you to get lucky in the beginning of a round, and giving you a specific stat at the start of a round. The round, it gets B for balance, for basically just being, well, lucky. This card I love this card. This card is my basically husband. That's no, 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 nope, no. Nope, I'm not gonna say that anymore. This card is basically the only thing that kept me together through Blocktails because it, well, tells you when it's gonna get, when you need a dodge. Next up, we have the same thing as basically this, except it's when you're on low HP instead of mortal damage, and it gets the same thing. Wait, no, it gets the same thing. Basically an A tier because it increases your damage. Next up, we have a Feel Fine card. Never used. Oh my goodness. We have the Feel Fine card. Never used it before, but it allows you to to feel fine, and well, this is incredibly useful. Useful for people who are susceptible to damaging attacks with certain effects. Next up, we have Poison. Poison is a C tier. It doesn't do much, but it's really useful. We have Ice. Ice, well, because it's really kind of just like an A tier now that I think about it, because you can put it anywhere onto any attack and it'll work. Next up, we have this. It's going into basically S tier because it's basically like Poison, where you can put it anywhere, or on any attack, but with Ice instead, you can put it on any attack, but instead it literally freezes the enemies, making them unable to move. Next up, we have Fire. Never mind. Next up, we have Fire. Fire allows us to it's the same thing as Poison. Hard Mode. Hard Mode, the card you get at the beginning. I like, it just gives you ticks, and honestly, with the new way you kind of have to use all the way with it, it makes you rage. See, I'm gonna put all the hard mode cards in C. Actually, no, I don't want to rank it because it's either good or bad. Alright, next up, we have Bucks. This is a Bucks finder. It tells you if there is a Bucks in the area, and it tells you if you're getting close or not. This is an S tier because it allows you to find every single Bucks in the game. Next up, we have Slowgo. The reason why I'm putting it in this one is because, well, it makes you just slower, and that's annoying, in my opinion. And I want to be fast and get around easier. Besides, I want to fight enemies to the death. Next up, we have Speed. I love this card. This card is my best friend. It deserves S tier because, well, it increases your dashes speed. Call cards. We have Call Cruel King. S tier. S tier, especially if you combo him with attack up. Gorilla. It's a C tier. It's not bad, but it's also not good. Next up, we have Red and Blue. This is basically the first call card I ever got because I didn't want to have Cruel King first. But anyways, we have Red and Blue. Red and Blue have that little double attack thing, so they get an S tier. Next up, we have Call Griefer. Griefer is genuinely an A tier. He's not the best, but he's also really good because first of all, he actually can increase your HP, which helps you a little bit. But not only that, but he will not increase your HP, but give you HP whenever he's using his bodyguard move, and he also gives you bodyguard during that. And then he does 4 damage unless you give him power up attack, and pretty much any card with a power up attack gets basically a tier up. Next up we have called Calypso. This card, it gets an S tier. High S tier. If I can... High S tier. High S tier. Being because, well, she has 2 attacks. One, which is Swords, which does 5 damage and pierces defense, and her little Flintlock, which also pierce defense and deal 2 damage. She is incredibly good. Next up, we have Cassie. Before, she was mid, and throughout Blocktails Demo 5, she doesn't help too much, but the reason why is because she doesn't want to hurt her own people, which are the Redcliffe people, the Astral Isles people, and the Splintered Skies people. But with the update, still she doesn't attack the people. Well, she does deal genuinely better damage and gives you increased defense. So she's useful now. Put that card here. Next up, we have the Ice Dagger. The Venom Shank, The Venom Shank gets put into a basically C tier. Dealing 2 damage and just poison. It's not the best, but it gets the job done if you need that quick damage. In fact, it's getting A tier for being helpful throughout the beginning. Ice Dagger gets another high S tier because it's incredibly useful, especially in really any demo. So we have the Ghostwalker. The Ghostwalker, while costing a bit more sword energy and me really never using it too much, it gets a solid high S tier because, well, you can basically put it as, well, it's incredibly useful, like giving you the dodgy effect, and is also really useful if you're going into the pit. Next up, we have the Firebrand. I have not used this sword in quite a bit. This sword does 5 damage and inflicts burn and defense down to anybody on the battlefield on the enemy team. This is a high S tier. Finally, we have the Wind Force. This was genuinely a mid sword because it's basically the same as the Firebrand, except it doesn't apply burn, instead applying slowness. But after its update, it gets an S tier because, well, now it does 6 damage, and it's incredibly useful. That is everything we have. Hopefully you enjoyed my basically 48-minute video. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of hopefully you have a great day / night. Yippee 56 is out. Goodbye.